That state had a rep in Doha over the weekend. Can you tell us anything about status on the release of American hostages?
So I will say that Secretary Blinken discussed this, as I said in my opening remarks, with the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Qatar this morning, someone who he has been in close contact with. It was one of his first calls on October 7th. We, of course, traveled there and met with them. And in that conversation, they covered a number of things, but two of the most important were, one, securing the release of hostages, and two, securing the safe passage of American citizens out of Gaza. There continue to be significant hurdles to doing both. Obviously, with respect to hostages, Hamas has not yet agreed to release anyone other than the 4 hostages, including the 2 American citizens. And with respect to American citizens who want to leave Gaza, they continue to not operate their side of the Rafah gate. So what we have done is try to work with partners who have relationships with Hamas to impress upon them the need to do both. I won't speak to the details of those negotiations because we don't think it's useful to do so publicly, but it is a high priority for us, obviously.
There's sort of widespread reporting now that the release of the hostages, the negotiations have stalemated. Are you going to continue to send a rep to Doha if no more Americans are freed?
We will continue to work to secure the release of American hostages every day. I don't want to make public pronouncements or play pundit on the likelihood of doing that versus the likelihood of not being able to do it. I will just say we'll continue to work on it. There is no higher priority from the president on down. The president has personally worked on this question. The secretary has personally worked on this question. Others from the White House and from here have personally worked on it, and it will remain one of our top priorities.
Follow-up question on that, just real quick. Would you characterize the U.S.'s assessment of these ongoing negotiations? Are you still just as optimistic? Do you want to push back on the idea that it's stalemated?
I don't want to characterize them at all. I don't think it's useful for me to do so publicly. As you'll know from coming to briefings last week, there are a number of sensitivities, as you can imagine, when it comes to negotiations to try to secure the release of hostages. And this is just one area where I think, other than, I will just say that the less said, the better.
To follow